Hey guys. All right, so here's Mr. Cesaris's cooking class of the week. I'm gonna go ahead and make some cherry bread from a recipe that I got out of Betty Crocker's new cookbook. Okay, and it's super easy to get done. And the end result is top notch. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. We're gonna mix everything together. I'm gonna go ahead and get it in the oven, and then I'll do another video later to show you the finished product. All right, let's get started. So, first of all, you start out with a 1.5 cups of sugar. And they call for a 1/2 cup of oil, but I always like to use applesauce just to try to make it a little bit healthier, I guess, if you can, right? And then you mix that together. Okay. All right, then the next step is to add your eggs. You add 2 eggs. Okay, and then you make sure it's nice and blended together. So you gotta obviously make sure your eggs are mixed up. All right, the next step says that we want to add our bananas, our buttermilk, and our vanilla. But I'm not making banana bread, I'm making cherry bread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my buttermilk, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, okay? I'm going to add cherries. Now it says a 1.5 cups of bananas or mushed up or, you know, squished up bananas. I'm just going to kind of guess on this. If you add a little too many cherries, well, I guess it's just going to be a little bit better, isn't it? All right, and then the last one is, obviously, the recipe says vanilla. I'm gonna add almond to this, okay? And it calls for a teaspoon of almond, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit extra. That's about 2 teaspoons of almonds. Gonna go ahead and mix this up. Make sure all that stuff gets mixed up well. Okay, and then our last step here, 2.5 cups of flour, and a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of salt. And then again, obviously, here we go, we're mixing it up. Over the side, over the side. All right, so once you get it mixed up pretty well, you can start to see what our cherry bread before it's baked is gonna look like. All right, now I've got my bread pan here. It's got mini loaves in it. I've already pre-sprayed it with some olive oil just to make sure the bread doesn't stick inside there. This recipe is gonna make about 4 loaves of these mini breads. Okay, and then just divvy it out into the 4 spots. You want to kind of use your tool here. I'm using a rubber spatula. You want to kind of make sure that you get it in there. Make sure it's all kind of full together, just to make sure that it bakes evenly. Okay, and just make sure we get all of our good stuff out of there. Okay, looks like we're about even. And you're going to bake this at 350. Now the recipe I'm going to post online for you guys says that you're supposed to bake it for an hour. I get the best results when I bake it for 40 minutes. So I'll see you on the other video, and rock and roll cherry bread.